So, John, I've been wondering if we can afford to maintain an RV. I'm talking about oil changes, tire rotations, sealing the roof. What do you think?
Yeah, some of the things we learned from the maintenance workshop we just attended here. Um, One thing I came away with was the annual inspection,
Mm-hmm.
having them perform the inspection and then winterizing it for us. I thought that might be a plus.
Yeah, we got to
Uh,
figure out how much all of
well,
that
they said
stuff costs.
$199 an hour.
Okay.
$199 an hour. I have no idea, cost of oil changes you're talking. You know, are we going to be able to do tire rotation on our
Right.
own? I don't know that.
Yeah. Well, I recently talked with Mike and Shelly Kay from Campin With The Confers, and I know that they do a lot of their own maintenance repairs, and they have had some maintenance on their rig in the past couple of years. So let's listen in to see what they have to say about how much it costs to maintain an RV.
I think we can break things. I'm not sure if we can fix things. That's our problem.
Yeah, that's why we thought we'd ask you guys because we see you fixing things on your channel all the time,
Yeah,
right?
That's
you
true.
learn a lot. You
Mm.
learn a lot, that's for sure.
Did you learn as you were going, or did you know a lot of the things ahead of time? Are you mechanically and
Yeah,
fine?
so growing up, I like to tell this story. Growing up, we were always pretty poor, so you either learned how to fix it yourself or
Yeah,
you didn't have it,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
And then through high school and stuff, I worked for some contractors and did some construction work, stuff like that. So, I've got some experience working on, houses and working on cars, a little bit of jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So,
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're going to be relying watching your videos because we don't have that kind of background. So, well, we really do pay attention to the what you're doing, and that's very helpful to us. But I do have a few questions about RV maintenance, just because we're trying to prepare budgets and make sure that we're ready for that. So, how much does it typically cost for RV maintenance for like oil changes, tire rotations, repairing your roof, those kind of things?
so if you're taking it to a dealership, a lot of money.
Okay.
Dealerships will take your money and leave your rig sit on their lots for months and months and months at a time. Um, so we have a fifth wheel and a diesel truck. So to take my truck to a dealership to get the oil changed and the water separator and the fuel filters and all the air filters done is about 600 bucks.
Wow.
Okay. I buy all of my stuff from Doc's Diesels online. I can get all the parts with the oil for about $225, and I do it myself in the gravel, at the house in the garage or at the campground wherever. And it takes me 2 hours. So I can save about 400 bucks by doing it myself or, 600 bucks to take it to a dealership.
You have a diesel truck,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
if you're in a gas truck, it's just going to be the regular. You can take it to Jiffy Lube for 35 bucks if you trust Jiffy Lube to actually change your oil. I wouldn't do that if I were you. But yeah, if you're looking at a diesel truck, the prices go up.
Have you had to rotate your tires or do new tires or that type of thing on your RV yet?
Yes.
You don't.
You want to tell them about our blowout? The reason we have new tires?
No,
Well,
no
first
blowout
thing,
stories, please.
Yes, tell him he needs to already.
you don't rotate trailer tires, though, correct?
You can, just front to back. You don't rotate crossways because most of them are directional. They are only made to roll one direction.
Okay.
So, trailer tires usually will age out before they run out of tread. So, on your truck tires or your car tires, you won't see the manufactured date of a tire, but on your trailer tire, you will. So, on the sidewall of your trailer tire, there'll be a little oval and it'll have four digits in there. Those four digits, the first two are the month or I'm sorry, the week of the year that they were made in, and the two second digits are the year that they were made in. So if it is 2624, those tires were made on the 26th week of 2024.
Oh, wow.
After about 5 years, you want to start getting rid of those tires because their integrity starts to get pretty bad from their manufacture date. So when you go buy new trailer tires, you might be buying 4-year-old tires right off the shelf and
Mm.
don't even know it if you don't know to look for that little
Good point.
thing
Good.
on the sidewall.
Because we were advised, I think we went to a maintenance show or something, and they said if you need it or not to replace your tires every year. You
No.
Oh, not every year.
okay. Okay.
So a set of tires, so we use the Goodyear Endurance tires on our trailer. You're looking at about $1,000 for a set of trailer tires with the fifth one for your spare, assuming that you have two axles, four tires. You're looking at about $1,000 for a set.
Okay.
And maybe your budget's bigger than ours,
Oh,
but I don't want to spend $1,000 a year on trailer tires.
And we've had our camper, our current camper, for 5 years this month, actually. And we've changed the tires once,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So I have a TPMS system. I keep super close track of the temperatures and the air pressure. And, if it's too hot outside and the road's too hot and my pressure starts getting too high, I'll stop and let some air out to keep my pressures right where I want them because we carry an air compressor with us so we can keep, because I like to have my air pressure just right. We still had a blowout. And it wasn't that it even blew out, the entire tire separated and just trashed the whole passenger side of our rig going down the road in Tennessee or Kentucky. Goodyear Endurance tires, and they've been great. I have had to replace two of them because of bearing issues. The Michigan
mhm.
has terrible roads when you get up north. We lost a wheel bearing when we were on a trip in Michigan, so I had to replace that at a campground. And when those bearings go bad, your tires kind of tilt out a little bit and they'll wear weird, so you just have to replace them.
So how about roof sealing? I thought I saw you up on your roof trying to do something about that. What does that entail? How often do you have to check that? And how much does it cost to keep your roof maintained?
So I'm kind of weird about the roof. I'm on our roof every 3 weeks. I go up because that's where the damage is going to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you're on that roof, you're checking your seals as often as you can. I mean, you don't have to do it every day. I would say no less than once a month. Get up there and look at it. And it's super cheap to keep it maintained. A tube of the lap seal, I buy it on Amazon in 6 packs for $20, and it's like a tube of caulking.
Mhm.
Okay.
That one tube will last you months. So it's pretty cheap. And when you see a crack, just fill it. It just a couple of squeezes with your caulking gun, it self levels.
Self-leveling. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's not worth trying to save $5 on a tube of caulking. Even if you have to use it once and it dries up, I just spend $5 and throw away the tube of caulking before I want to replace all the plywood on my roof.
Okay.
And
That's
then,
right.
Oh, a Turtibond tape. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's like duct tape for RV roofs. This stuff will stick to anything. And once you put it on, good luck getting it back off. This stuff is, and a lot of people will replace all of their sealant with the Eternabond tape.
Mhm.
It's stupid expensive. It's like $2 or $3 a foot. Keep a roll of it in the truck. If you catch a tree limb or something and you tear that membrane back and in, you take that Eternabond tape, stick it on there. You're good to go until you get back from your trip to get a more permanent fix.
Have you had any unexpected maintenance cost that you didn't anticipate when you got into the RV life?
I don't know that I'd call it maintenance, but we had our slide break. And it was well, it actually broke when we were getting ready to go to Atwood Lake Park. I don't know if you're familiar with that park in Ohio. So we were hooked up, getting ready to leave, and it broke. But it was 2 weeks before our big 2.5 week trip up to Maine.
Mhm.
So the timing was absolutely horrible. And to get it into a shop was going to take, they would have it for months. So we did find a mobile repair guy that would come because Mike does fix almost everything. In fact, this has been the first thing that he has not been able to
Fixed.
fix.
I even fixed the body panels of the trailer when we had the blowout and it trashed everything. I even fixed all that stuff myself. But I was not willing to take on the slide job.
Yeah. But we ordered the parts directly from Lippert,
Mhm.
and that was
Mhm.
$1,300 for just the part. And then the mobile repair guy charged us $800 to fix it. So before we're going on this trip, we're out over $2,000
Mm.
now. So that was not fun.
You have a rack and pinion slide, you have hydraulic slides, and you have the Schwintek slide, right? And there's a couple other new ones out there now. If the rigs that you're looking for, if there's a small slide like your bed or something that's on a Schwintek slide system, you're probably going to be fine. Not going to be a problem. Our slide has a Schwintek slide system on it, but it has our couch and our refrigerator in that slide. Um, but yeah, the refrigerator and couch slide is just a little too much for a Schwintek. So keep
Okay.
that in mind when you're looking at your rigs.
Question here on, you said you had a problem with the slide, you called somebody. Is there handy people available on a call like that? A quick call, hey, this happened, we need you to come out here, you know, in a
Yeah, you just
reasonable time.
wherever you are, just look up mobile RV techs in your area.
Okay.
The NRVTA, the National Recreational Vehicle Training Academy, it's down in Texas. Uh,
Okay.
if you go through their training class, you get to go on their website as a mobile RV tech, right? And those guys really know what they're doing. It's a good class. I went through the home version of that class.
Yeah, and I think that would actually be a good thing for you to do. I think it was less than $200.
Yeah, it
$200
wasn't super expensive.
for like this online class of just like basic maintenance stuff.
Okay.
How to work on your water heater and your air conditioner and your electrical system and your plumbing system. If you have no idea what you're looking at, it'd be really helpful. And me having some experience, I could dig a little deeper into, some of the stuff they're doing with the multimeters and, really digging through, I guess, more figuring out what caused the problem instead of just how to fix the problem too.
Do you use YouTube a lot or not?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
YouTube University is the best.
Okay. All right.
Okay. No, I think that that class sounds like a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Did you ever have any other water damage to your RV? I see like online people talking about water damage in their RV walls or anything like that. Have you had anything like that?
No, not in the walls. Just a couple of weeks ago, our water pump went out, which, that kind of stuff happens. It was a 5-year-old water pump, and it leaked some water onto the linoleum floor in the basement. But as long as you can get that stuff cleaned out of there before it has a chance to settle into your plywood, you're good.
And a good tip, we were just talking about this, a good tip to know if your water pump is, or if you have a leak, is if you have your water pump turned on, but you don't have any water running, if you ever hear that water pump just turn on for a second, you have a leak somewhere.
Okay.
So you need to like
Yeah, you're
turn
losing
everything
pressure.
off and go find, your water sources where you are leaking. We did get
Govee water
Govee
sensors.
water sensors, and you can like download the app and you put the sensors in like places,
Okay.
uh, and
You have a leak, trust me, you're gonna know because they're loud.
Do you have any tips for reducing maintenance cost?
Learn it yourself.
I think you're going to say that. Wrong.
Reduce the cost, absolutely. Because if you're, like I said, if you're paying to go to a dealership, their hourly rates for labor are like 175 bucks an hour or something crazy nowadays. I'm not even sure what they are because I don't take mine to the shops.
He told us 190.
190. Okay, so I was underbidding them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, learn to do it yourself and stay on top of just your routine stuff, right? Keep checking your roof because if you're checking it, you're not going to have the problems. Keep those slide seals and stuff conditioned so your rubber seals aren't going rotten and dry rotting.
Do you do a routine maintenance check on like the refrigerator or the water pump? Do you do a routine or you just wait until something happens and then you react to that?
Like the refrigerator, I had problems when we first got the rig, just trying to keep this thing cold, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
you
So
don't do a
I don't do a
routine, just a
routine, no, but
check on it.
I did figure out I went and bought some 4-inch computer fans and put 4 more fans behind the refrigerator to help circulate air through the vents. The water pump, like Shelly K was saying, I don't do a routine check on it, but every time that you're running that thing, you're kind of doing a check on it because if you just hear it go "Merp" for just a second, it's got a leak. And if you turn it on and you're not getting any water, chances are it's not working. So it's time to fix it.
Do you think the RV tech that we were talking about earlier, that when you call them up, they come out, is that cheaper than taking it to the dealer, or are they close to the same amount of money? Because I know that'd probably be pretty expensive for somebody to come out and take care of a problem with your RV.
I would say they're cheaper and faster.
Okay.
Every RV tech, they can set their own rates. So, if he wants to make $100 an hour, he can make $100 an hour. If he wants to charge you 500 bucks an hour, he's probably not going to get much work, but he could do that. But if
Okay.
you take it to a dealership, you're not going to be seen for months.
Okay.
And the
Where,
thing is, they tell you to bring your RV in because we
yeah,
experienced this when we first got ours.
even though they can't touch it for 6 months, if it's not on their lot, your clock doesn't start.
Yeah, you're out of line.
You're out of line until your RV's sitting on their lot.
Did you guys buy a brand new RV, your first one?
We
We
did.
did, yes.
Good. What would you recommend? Because I heard sometimes when you do that, you have to figure out all the problems.
Well, that's really because we're actually still on our first. We're like the unicorn in the RV world. Seems like, everybody we know, they buy a new RV every 2 or 3 years, and we're on year 5 in the same one. So
Hmm.
I don't know if it would be better to buy used where all the bugs are already out,
Yeah.
or picking up everybody else's problems that they didn't fix. I don't know
Right.
because we've never bought a used one. We've only had the one.
That's kind of what we've been talking about here is, do we buy a used one that somebody has fixed most of the early problems that happen, or go ahead and buy a new one and, deal
Hmm.
with the problems when they come? We haven't solved that problem
It's a
yet.
bit of a
Yeah.
gamble.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is a gamble because you don't know, like, did that person take care of it?
Mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. And like you said, like water damage in the walls and all of that kind of thing, you can't just see that when you walk in, and you don't know if that person was diligent about inspecting their roof regularly and, checking for water damage. So it's now, I mean, you can get an inspection. So I guess I would say if you do buy a previously owned unit, that you do get an inspection done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that same class, the NRVTA, they have the RV technicians and inspectors classes down there. So you can go on their website, find an inspector in your area. Again, they set their own prices, but if an inspection is going to cost you 500 bucks and they find a $5,000 problem, that 500 bucks was worth it, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
That's good advice.
in the next year and a half or so, if you're looking for a fifth wheel, we might know some people that are getting rid of one.
That's
So
true.
Yeah.
We are
I'm sure
looking
it's
about,
taken care of.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
yeah.
We're looking at maybe a 2.5 years now. We're saving up for that first RV purchase.
Do you have a physical budget for maintenance per year, cost wise, and what to maintain? Do you follow that?
So if it weren't for her, I wouldn't even know what a budget is. I'm terrible at budgeting anything. If it breaks, I just fix it. Is there a list of stuff? In my head, there's a list of stuff that I do all the time,
Yeah.
but I don't have a physical list, which I probably should have a physical list of things written down to check, these things.
That might be a good
Episode.
episode.
There you go.
We'll
Well,
be watching.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
too, you do have specific things that you check. I mean, really, the cost of the maintenance, I don't think is very large, really. If you're just talking about maintenance, it's about fixing the broken things. And that it's just so unknown. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now, a lot of it's got to do with tools too. She doesn't want me to talk about my tools, but
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
me
you
too.
know, I own a ton of tools, but every time I need a tool because something breaks, it's in the toolbox, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like this week, we could have a connection on a PEX line go bad and it cost me 10 cents to fix it. Next trip, I could lose a brake caliper and cost me 500 bucks to fix it.
Mm,
It just you just don't know what's going to be next, but there is going to be something next.
Mhm.
okay.
That's what scares me.
Hmm.
But over the
Well,
course of the 5 years that we've had it, like I wish I could, if I would have thought about this before, I would have tried to just kind of like tally up what we've spent in maintenance over the last 5 years.
I'll bet you it's under $1,000 a year.
Yes.
Okay.
If you averaged it out,
Yeah.
yes. This last year we had the $2,000 for the slide, and that was by far
The biggest thing.
yes, yeah.
John and I are just planning the RV. What's your piece of advice for us as first-time RVers?
Don't buy what works for us or anybody else. Buy what's going to work for you guys.
Okay.
You know how you're going to travel. Well, you have an idea of how you're going to travel. And make sure that whatever rig you guys choose fits your style of travel.
Mhm.
Okay.
Would be my piece of advice.
Don't be in a hurry
Hmm.
about anything. So, like when you're traveling, don't be in a hurry. When you're going to be setting up, don't be in a hurry.
When you're looking at spending a lot of money on an RV,
Yeah.
don't be in a
Don't be in a
hurry.
hurry. Yeah.
Station. Station.
Okay.
We had a 5 year plan and now we're getting closer and closer. So, now we're at our 2+ year plan, but we're not waiting until that day comes. We travel a lot.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And definitely we enjoy watching your channel,
Mhm.
Campin with the Confers, and hope to see you in Ohio sometime. That'd be great.
All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey guys, take
Take care.
care.
Bye. Well, we just got done talking with Shelly Kay and Mike from Campin with the Confers, John, about RV maintenance. I'm kind of concerned because he has so much experience with RV maintenance and we don't. And to me, the big takeaway was if you can do it yourself, you're going to save a lot of money.
Right. For sure.
But they did say there was a course that we could take. So maybe that's something
National
we need to do.
Recreational RV Tech A down in Texas.
Okay. I even thought about after we get the RV, we should drive down there and take the course face to
Live?
face. Maybe,
Sure, someday.
maybe, and
Yes.
then,
That's what, yeah, it's good to hear from them and others, but I'd like to hear from somebody that had no experience
yeah.
and see what they went through. If anybody's out there, give us a ring or something, however you want to do it.
Right. Leave
But,
us a comment
yeah,
and,
that had no experience doesn't fix anything. And
how did you figure it out?
usually pays
Right.
people to pay or usually
Right,
pay people
right.
to fix things.
Well, we don't do our own oil changes.
No.
I did learn that in Girl Scouts in elementary school. So maybe, um, and we probably called people if we had a flat tire and that kind of thing. But I think we're gonna have to figure it out or we're gonna go poor, right? So,
We're not RV
oh, we're gonna
for too
RV.
long. For too long.
Yeah, so
Yeah. But that's a good point. I think that's probably the biggest thing out of that conversation.
yeah.
And that class, I might have to look into that class and see what we can do.
We need to start figuring it out.
Yeah.
So he said about $1,000 a month average for RV maintenance. All right, we'll have to add that to the budget sheet
Yeah.
as we figure out what we need to do to prepare for RV life. So until next time, let our next trail
Help you find your next trail.